Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and it's always cool to have my friend Stacy Ridinger come in, and it must be Cause Conference time, and it is coming up over there. Stacy, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I have two great guests here with us today to kind of expand what we're doing with Cause San Diego and the conference this year.
No, that's great. Talk a little bit about the conference before we get to Sandy and Jason, and also what you do as the co-founder and executive director of Cause San Diego.
Yes, so I'm now solo as the executive director for Cause San Diego. Last year, I was joined by Delinda Forsyth, who has a wonderful career as far as being a CEO and an author. So this year, we've been taking Cause San Diego beyond the conference. We got a lot of feedback. That's what people wanted.
Nice.
So this year, we actually were able to put forward a social impact workshop. We brought in some experts to talk about how to measure and highlight your work so that that can actually resonate with your employees and your customers. And then we kind of leaned in and we're looking for some other ways to kind of engage with different audiences here in the region. So we've done events with some businesses, nonprofits, but the big capstone event's coming up October 23rd. It's going to be at Sharp Healthcare Previs Innovation Education Center, and it's a full day. We have some amazing people coming out. People should go to our website and check it out. But it really is more than just a conference. We are really here as a call to action. There are so many businesses out there making big profits and seeking ways to build better culture for their companies. And we're here to show you how businesses are moving beyond profit, how they are purpose-driven, looking at how to improve society and our environment, and actually making quite a bit of money at doing all of those. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's something Stacy knows near and dear to my heart. We've talked about this quite a bit, and we know that companies that do it right, it's also good for their bottom line. Heaven forbid they actually make some money so they can keep the doors open, so they can do great things to reach out into the community as well. So let me ask Jason about this, president and founder of Signature Analytics. What got you into, I'm going to support this conference, and this is a good thing to do?
Yeah, I think, we, from our company's perspective, we support our clients with financial and accounting leadership. And we ended up, we kind of fell into it a little bit, and then it became really exciting for us. About 20% of our clients are in the nonprofit community, and we started to really build out a great team that's fully dedicated to that space. And we just started to see the joy and the impact that we were making with these organizations, and their ability to achieve their mission through the support that we were providing, along with everything else that they were doing as organizations. And it just, the passion that these organizations have was contagious, I guess. And the passion that our team that's dedicated to our clients has is also contagious. And so the more that we can be involved with our clients to support them specifically, but then also the community as a whole, we want to be a part of. It's just, the Cause Conference is a fantastic conference with all different types of great speakers and organizations that attend, and we want to be a part of that and part of the community to support as much as we can.
No, that's great. Really appreciate that. And we know that depending on what study you're going to look at, there's 8,000 to 12,000 nonprofits, depending on what you're looking at here in San Diego County. Most of them, are making no money. They're just doing great things in the community, but they're doing it because they're so passionate about it. Sandy Basaka, so 2023 Social Impact Collegiate Scholarship, correct?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, and even as important, Aztec for Life, thank you very much. You still at SDSU?
Yes, I'm graduating this year, so I'm super excited.
Good. What's your major?
I'm business management.
Good. Okay, good. I graduated probably before your grandparents were born from San Diego State, so in journalism in that area. Talk about how important it is, the scholarship you won, and why this is so critical for where you want to go in your future.
Perfect. So I think, as Jason mentioned earlier, Cause San Diego was such a great conference and impact. And meeting Stacy and everyone there, it kind of resonated with me, like to apply to the scholarship. Everyone there is super driven to impact our community and be nonprofits and be there for them, especially in the business aspect. So I've been volunteering in nonprofits majority of my life. As I mentioned before, I'm an immigrant and refugee from Iraq, and my parents instilled this value in me where you should always give back since a young age. So coming here to America, my parents have always been very strong with our beliefs. And when we'd see, like, let's say a homeless person, we'd go up to them, we'd give them food, some water, and carrying these beliefs that my family have given me, I want to take that into my future, which is why I do a lot of nonprofit work. I'm something I'm really passionate about, and in the future, I plan on continue to do nonprofit work, especially in the business aspect. And yeah, so I'm here today.
So, what other nonprofits do you work with? Father Joe's Villages or some of the homeless groups?
So one of the main nonprofits or organizations that I do work with is Aztecs Rock Hunger from SDSU, and we fight against food insecurity here in San Diego. And the reason why it resonated with me so much was because we contacted all these businesses and we try to find ways where they can get involved, whether it be donations or hosting fundraiser events or just posting us and spreading our cause throughout their social media content. And we were able to raise over $95,000 in 5 weeks because of these.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it wasn't just me. It was because of the community. It was because of businesses. And so much what all you guys are saying, we're trying to find ways for businesses to have a foot in the door of nonprofits and just be there for our San Diego community.
Yeah, we're chatting with Sandy Bisaka. She's a 2023 Social Impact Collegiate Scholarship winner, heavily involved in Cause San Diego, the Cause Conference and volunteering, Aztec. She's be graduating in May, no?
Yes, in May.
Congratulations, joined by Jason Kruger, president and founder of Signature Analytics, a sponsor of the 2024 edition of the Cause Conference, and Stacy Reidinger, co-founder and executive director of Cause San Diego and the director of the Cause Conference. You know, Stacy, when I hear these things, I love this. This show was formed in 2007, very first community podcast in the nation that dealt with all these things. And as you know, that's what we like to do, is shout out the 6 billion nonprofits that we've had over the 18 years doing this. But like Jason was talking about, and certainly Sandy, I think what's great about this, and you know this because it's in your DNA, there is a measurable impact to the company when you get involved in the community. Talk about it helps their bottom line, and it helps how employees look at the company.
Yeah, so one of the things that you'll see at our conference is that we've really shaped it around showing you how to do that. I think a lot of people go, well, maybe we'll do that next year, or it's great they can do it, but I don't see how we can be involved. And that's really what our conference does. So there's so many positives that can come from a company finding a way to either even as simple as giving your employee a living wage and proper compensation and benefits. That's one of the key things. Even smaller businesses starting there, if you help them, you are helping society in a very positive way.
So I want to amplify that. Stacy knows this. I know Sandy and Jason do not. I ran community and public relations for the Union Tribune for like a zillion years. But what was interesting about one of the studies I was reading, and I've been talking about this for the last several weeks. Bozell did a huge study in about 13 different countries, and they broke it out with Canada, United States, and the United Kingdom on what a citizen in those countries think of a good corporate citizen. What do they base it on? And far down the list was how much money they gave to nonprofits. Number one, and there wasn't a close second, was how well that company treats its employees. And it really struck home to say, that makes sense. because you're out there mowing your lawn and you're asking how you like working for, Signature Analytics, or how you like working for Cause San Diego, or, whatever Sandy's company will be in the future. And if they say, I don't like that bozo Jason, and because I'm just teasing, people like Jason, that has more of an impact on how people view that company than it does. And you hit the nail on the head on that. It is so important.
Yeah.
How come people don't understand that as much?
Well, what we see in a lot of the studies and findings is that, businesses, when they develop, they're in a hustle, they're scrappy, They're trying to do what they need to actually make ends meet. And then once they start to get into the more profitable side, there's different interests that need to be, served. And sometimes it has to do with the way that the money's reinvested, and the choices, how the board makes decisions on how the money's used. But the bigger piece that we're finding is that companies that do lean in and create a good company culture, and what that means is that it's beyond just what the product or service is, it's what's that bigger purpose. It's also when you see the employees feeling vested in your community outreach programs. We're going to teach you about that at the conference, because I see tons of big companies. I've worked for them. If you look at my background of some of the few big for-profit organizations that I've been involved in, and they do a really good job in some areas, but some employees don't even understand what the company's doing. So you can't let it doesn't resonate to them. Other things I did want to quickly share with you about what businesses can get as far as value out of giving back is that if you want to think about the future generations, think about your children, grandchildren, this earth and this planet, this ecosystem, our natural world. If you love going to the San Diego Zoo, Wildlife Alliance Park, and seeing all those wonderful things, well, just imagine in the future that your future generations aren't able to be able to enjoy that. Let's say that the ocean is to a point where we've lost so much of our ecosystem. So I think it's futurism and really thinking far into the future about the decisions you're making today. And you're going to have Dr. Bronner's at our event talking about that. Of course, we know that they fully lean in as a B Corp. We're going to have TCW Global. Sam Cooley, the CEO for that company, he is so involved. They developed from last year, from our conference, their community engagement director took our playbook that we handed out. It was a social impact playbook. We still have it available. And from there, they were doing great things, but they didn't know how to package it. So they put together this amazing program. I'm not going to give it all away. He's going to talk about it at the conference, out.
No spoiler alerts.
Exactly. But he'll bring that in. And then we just have people coming in from all different backgrounds. We've got the banks coming in to talk about from their perspective. We've got Chase. We've got different organizations on the nonprofit side talking to us about how they get uplifted by the for-profit side.
Yeah. And what's the website? How do the people sign up?
So yeah, you can go to causesandiego.org. We've got all our details there. I did want to just chime in though, because it's important. We have our scholarship this year, the one that Sandy won.
Right.
It's now open for applications through September 20th. This is only for San Diego living local students who are going to San Diego-based schools.
Right.
So we really wanted to go there. And then the second thing is we're about to open up our social impact business and nonprofit awards opportunities. So look out for that. We're going to award those scholarships at the conference on the 23rd, and we're going to recognize some amazing leaders. Last year, our Lifetime Achievement Award went to Malin Burnham for his outstanding work with the Burnham Foundation as well as the Burnham Center. So who knows who's going to win this year, but I'm really excited. And our team has, if you go to our site, you'll see everyone involved. And we've got Conscious Capitalism San Diego involved with us, and the B Corps, Be Local San Diego, Business for Good. We're all we see what the realities are, and we're just trying to get more businesses to the table to take that step.
Yeah, well, it certainly works great for the employees, great works for the businesses, and more important about the impact. We're going to return with Stacy, Jason, and Sandy after this break, talk more about why this is so critical for Jason to get involved and really pick Sandy's brain and say, how do we get more young folks involved in impact when we come right back from this break. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great work in San Diego County. And I know Neville Villamoria of Mission Fed is very close to Stacy. I think you guys work shoulder to shoulder. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Just so thrilled to be chatting with our friends from Cause Conference and Cause San Diego. Stacy Reidinger, he's the co-founder and executive director of Cause San Diego and director of the Cause Conference, October 23rd. You'll hear more details from Stacy on this. Joined by one of the sponsors of the conference, Jason Kruger, president and founder of Signature Analytics and a 2023 Social Impact Collegiate Scholarship winner, Sandy Bisaka. She's going to be talking about what her career impact is going to be. She's already working with a bunch of nonprofits, and she is going to be graduating from San Diego State in May. Congratulations to you on that, Sandy. Back to you, Jason, on this. How many of your employees, do they actually go to the conference?
Yeah, we're going to have several of our employees at the conference, as many as Stacy will allow, with our sponsorship, and I think we might even have a couple additional joining as well. But yeah, we're really excited about it.
You know, I think of what's nice when you see obviously the person at the top, and I can't emphasize how important that is enough on this. And when you see the leader that sort of jumps in and digs on this, like you, Jason, on it, that sends a message to everybody that this is important. And something that we love talking about, and maybe you can address it, Jason, as well. I know you will, Stacy, and get your thoughts on it, Sandy, is those companies that do well in the corporate social good don't just do checkbook philanthropy. They roll up their sleeves and they're out there picking up trash or cleaning beaches or painting walls or getting our streams clean. Talk about how important that is.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. And going back to what we talked about before, culture is so critical. I mean, the establishing, and I never understood how important culture was until we had somebody from an HR, director of HR that really came in and said, hey, you know what, culture is not really about just going to happy hour every once in a while. It's really building the representation of who you are as an organization and who your people are. And that's allowed us to hire and bring great people to our organization. And our commitment to our nonprofit clients and to what we do within those clients in the community also helps to bring great people. And so when I look at the nonprofit community as a whole, I look at it as almost a circular. I always like to say, what you put into it is what you get out of it, right? And so I can't expect to get anything out of it if I don't make a commitment to putting something into it. And so once we make that commitment, it's circular. We can do good for our clients. We can do good for the community. That ultimately helps to identify and drive good people to our organization, which ultimately ends up, allowing us to be even more successful from a business perspective. And so that commitment, I think, and that wheel, I think, is very important. And I think that's what Stacy was hitting on earlier too, which is having that aspect as part of your business and that commitment to clients, to organizations that are out there making an impact in the community, that has residual effects within your company, within the organizations that you service, and then within the community as a whole. And so that's important to us.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, Drew, I just wanted to add in that, I spent 24 years in the green uniform of the United States Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
And when you talk about purpose every day, when the big suck, right? I'm here for a bigger purpose and all the bad stuff that we have to go through, the hard stuff.
Right.
Well, all businesses don't have that big kind of purpose piece, right? If you look at what they do for product or service. So I even think whenever you lean in and do things with the community and do things for your environment to make improvements there, those things can create that purpose that might be lacking in whatever type of product or service that you offer as a business. So for businesses out there that go, well, they get a paycheck, so they should just be happy to be here. Well, I'm like, well, I think, we're noticing with Gen Z, we're noticing with a lot of employees now, they'd rather do a couple side hustle jobs than work for an empty, transactional type of employee environment.
Yeah, we see that all the time. It's so critical.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about it, and so I want to ask Sandy this question, and I know Stacy, you and Jason can chime in on this. When we talk to people over the last 18 years, nonprofits, and we always say, listen, if you can only afford to give us $1, we'll take $1. If you can only give us 1 hour this week, that's fine, because next week it'll be 2, and maybe next month it'll be 5 hours, and then maybe it's $5, and then you build that capacity. Sandy, here you are. You're a senior at San Diego State. You probably got 24 hours of your day all filled up. Hopefully, some sleeping is in there, but obviously being a student, being a part of your family, and then volunteering. But there's always time to be impactful. Is there not? Talk about that.
Yeah, so a model that I always live by is you always have to make the time for what you want to do. And my mission in life is to be able to help as many people as I can. I feel like that's more fulfilling, make an impact on people. So there's always something you can do, whether it's small, whether it's big, that you can find within your community to help them, to be there for them. And although my day is filled up with school, with clubs, with all these extracurriculars, you always have to make the time for something that's so deep. And I find the values that come with it is super embedded in me. I always try to make the most I can with what I have.
And as Stacey knows, I've been involved in a whole variety of nonprofits. I'm Junior Achievement, Classroom of the Future, Council on Literacy, blah, blah, blah. Other people have done 10 times more than me. I'll tell you that right now. But, and I tell people, well, how can I get involved? You know what? We need somebody at registration. Can you go to one of our events for 3 hours and help registration? Will that have an impact? Anybody who's done registration at a big event knows that. Are you kidding me? It is so important. And there's so many things, and I think to your point, Stacy, there's always something somebody can do. And if you look at the future, I always love having our environmental groups on our show, whether it's Living Coast Discovery Center or a San Diego River Conservancy, because we have such unbelievable natural beauty in San Diego County. Mm-hmm. When it's lost, it's gone. And to your point, Stacy, we got to look to the future. We got to look to the Sandys and all this business. So, Sandy, how do you get more of your colleagues involved, your fellow students at San Diego State or other universities and colleges around San Diego County?
So the one way I try to do is by leading by example. Something that I always tell others, if you want someone to follow your lead, to do what you're doing, you always have to show them what that is. Again, back to my parents. My parents showed me what it's like, how you should be giving back. And I've had amazing advisors and mentors around me that showed me what I should be doing for the community, how helpful it is. And I was placed in the front lines of it, whether it was registration or just talking to somebody, something small or something big. It's always great for adults and businesses to just lead by example, to have that impact on the community and have these future generational leaders do the same thing that we're doing now.
So the previous guest was talking about the mental health crisis that we have in this world, solar system, all that business. And we talked about, social media and so forth. But there's some positives you can do. And I'll turn to you on this. I don't know how many followers you have on Instagram, and half the stuff I don't even know what I'm talking about. But one of the advantages of, if you, with your network, want to say, hey, listen, I need someone to help me volunteer at the cause conference, whatever the case may be. You hit a few text messages, the next thing you know, you've reached out to 100 people. If 5 show up, there's 5 more people than we did before. Talk about how social media can work for the positive on volunteering and impact.
Of course, I love social media. Obviously, there comes some negatives and positives to it. You always have to do in moderation. But when it comes to spreading the word of a cause, it's super impactful and important, especially since with one post, you can reach thousands, hundreds, maybe millions of people. So back to what you're saying, if you want to spread the word, social media is super important. And if we were trying to get more people in Cause San Diego, I feel like reaching, for example, let's say me, I reach out to my network who I know would be impactful for this cause and who I know that are trying to get involved in some way, and then they'll probably reach out to other people. So social media is super important, especially when it comes to nonprofits and spreading their word and their cause. You get to see more interaction and more eyes on what you're trying to do.
Right, and they could find out that it's pretty easy to get engaged. We're chatting with Sandy Pasaka. She is the 2023 Social Impact Collegiate Scholarship, 2023 Cause San Diego, going to be involved in the 2024 Cause Conference, October 23rd. Stacy's going to give us more details on that. She's a senior at San Diego State, joined by Jason Kruger, president and founder of Signature Analytics, and a sponsor and a big fan of the Cause Conference, and Stacy Reidinger, co-founder and executive director of Cause San Diego, and the director for the Cause Conference. So Jason, talk about your role. You're the founder and the president of Signature Athletics and Analytics. How do you get other CEOs and founders of companies to say, listen, folks, if we can do it, I guarantee you folks can do it, whether you own a vacuum repair shop of 5 folks or you own SDG&E, for God's sake. And they're going to listen to CEOs and founders like yourself. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what Sandy mentioned is you lead by example. I like to lead by example as well. Some of the things that we've done and also leveraging social media in the right way, I think is important. And promoting things in the right way and promoting things with consistency is also important. If we just shoot off once a year a random post about something that is important within the community, it's going to go mostly on deaf ears. If we're consistent about that and how we post and what we do and how we work within the community, then there's going to be a lot more that comes to that. And so for us, we start with our clients. We have 20% of our clients are nonprofits. So we've worked with Feeding San Diego. So we took a team of our team down and we packed boxes for a night. We work with San Diego Rescue Mission. So we went down and we worked and supported activity time one night over there as well. And so those are also things that we can promote within the community and promote to other CEOs, to other founders, to other companies as to, hey, you know what? This is what we believe is important to our community and obviously to our clients. And as Stacy mentioned, and there's a fine line too. I mean, there's obviously a benefit from a business perspective. We don't want to take advantage of that. But if you do things the right way, when you're talking about companies that are out there in the community and promoting the community and the organizations that are within the community, that's that circle I was talking about. And there can be business rewards associated with that. Now, that shouldn't be why you do it, but it does go hand in hand from a certain perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Stacy has heard this before. We're going to get more details on the Cause Conference, October 23rd, and $15,000 worth of scholarships and all the cool things. And you get to meet Jason and Sandy there. That should be enough to get you at the conference right there. One of the things that we were most proud of when I was running community public relations at the Union Tribune, it was an absolutely poster child for cause marketing, was our Union Tribune Kids News Day. And what we did is we sold newspapers one day a year on street corners all throughout San Diego County. Everyone was dressed in yellow aprons, and all the money benefited Rady Children's Hospital. So we raised about $100,000 net for them and did a whole big special section on this aspect of it. And So it helped us from a business standpoint. We made some advertising revenue, and we certainly sold some papers. But we put a profile on the Rady Jones Hospital on these great stories that most people hadn't heard about, and raised money. That was exactly what people need to do on this. And there's many other companies that are doing those types of things. So October 23rd, what are the key details, Stacy?
Yeah, well, Drew, all of you are inspiring me so much by what you're sharing, because this is exactly the how, the what of what is taking place. And I did want to share just a statistic that there has been research about how employees do get engaged with community outreach and giving. And by far, experiences outweigh any type of fund drive where someone's just asked to bring in a bar of soap or bring in blankets, or if someone's just asked to, hey, if you give $5, we'll match that. That doesn't resonate as much as an experience. It can be things like what Jason's mentioned, what Drew's mentioned. It could be as simple as you all coming to the conference together and being there in order to get a little more information about what's happening. And at the same time, sitting together at lunch as a team and starting to conversate and talk about that. It could be as easy as doing a bag of fill for one of the nonprofits that do care kits for those who are coming into the shelters. It's amazing. I've seen people who just showed up that they were going to get some pizza, and afterwards they got a little bit of knowledge about what's going on with the issue, and they became a cause champion. So at the conference, it's going to be a fun day. I tell you what, I could be here for hours telling you about it. But I want to just let you know about some of the organizations that are going to be there, because these organizations either are rowing the boat or they're interested in getting more involved. We've got like I mentioned, Dr. Bronner's San Diego Foundation is going to have a footprint this year. SDG&E, Sempra is going to be involved. We have USD, SDSU, CSU San Marcos, Father Joe's Village, Civilian, Conrad Previs Foundation, and on and on. We've got Sharp Healthcare, of course, Signature Analytics, one of our key sponsors, Allison International, City of San Diego, CalSense. We're actually going to have the Chief Operating Officer of the City of San Diego, Eric Dargan, to be on stage in the morning talking about the state of homelessness with Tamara Kohler, CEO of the Regional Task Force on Homelessness. We're going to have Emily Young on stage from the Previs Foundation talking about social equity, justice, youth, innovation. How do we do more prevention rather than trying to reduce these social issues? How do we prevent them from happening? So I'm really excited to have this big group of very diverse individuals that are coming into it. One thing I do want to mention, and it's something that I think we need to really pay attention to, is the resiliencies of our communities. We're going to have some people coming in to talk this year about that. Pamela Payton's coming in from San Diego Foundation. She's going to talk all about the San Diego floods that happened earlier this year, which we know unfortunately impacted some of those who are in disadvantaged areas of our communities more than others. She's going to come and talk about what the coming together was for all of our different sectors, but more importantly, what lessons were learned and how we need to move forward in the future to make sure that those individuals living in those areas that may be of lower income areas, that they do get the proper support and care that they need. So this is about a day of learning. It really is. In the morning, when you come in the morning, you're going to learn about the global impacts happening around the world. And then we're going to scope down into TED Talks talking about the regional issues here in San Diego. So by the time you walk out at 9:30 in the morning into a networking session and then to your first breakout, you will have no question as to why you're here. And that's the kind of thing we want to deliver. This is not just coming out, having a couple of bagels, shaking hands, and going back to work. We're here to change hearts and minds, and really to get people to either start, strengthen, or just learn how to highlight the great work they're doing.
Yeah, it's too bad Stacy's not passionate about all this. No, listen, I think it's wonderful. Shout out the website one more time.
The website is causesandiego.org. You can go to our you'll see a link there for Cause Conference 2024. It has all the details. By the way, our business awards program is about to kick off, and we'll have lots of highlights on social and otherwise. We'll be at different events here in the county. You'll see us in the media. So please come out. And if you're a nonprofit out there and you're like, I can't afford that ticket, contact us, because we have a way to help you to get to this conference. We don't want it to have any barriers. College students and grads, we have a ticket price for you as well. So come out. you may meet some great people, and you might find your next social entrepreneurial idea.
You'd never know on that. So always good to see you, Stacy. We know we're going to get you teed up, and probably in a few months here to talk about the results of the conference and how it went. Maybe bring in some other folks to chat about that and other things you got going on with the Cause San Diego. Sandy, I'll look forward to having you on the show when you become Entrepreneur of the Year somewhere down the road, having a major impact on it. And Jason, what a pleasure. Kudos to you and your team for your support of this conference and just the vibe itself and giving back to the community. It's going to be a great event, October 23rd. Go to the website, Cause Conference. You will not be disappointed. You'll make many new connections on this, and you'll be so grateful you did. Stacy, Sandy, and Jason, thanks for coming on. And we hope our listeners enjoyed hearing another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. Now on our 18th year, brought to you by the amazing people from Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things, and you pick a topic: food insecurity, literacy, art, everything in between. They are just amazing. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.